Hi, in today's video, I'd like to compare two of the box sets of the Flintstones. One is the DVD box set, and the other is the Blu-ray box set. So primarily in this video, I'm going to compare the two and talk to you about them and tell you an issue I had with the Blu-ray version. Please stand by for more. Back to cheesy thumbprints, and as I said in the intro, today's brief video is going to be discussing an experience I just had purchasing a Blu-ray, and it wasn't the seller's fault, really. It's more to do with manufacturing. But first of all, these two box sets that I want to discuss today are the original Flintstones cartoons that came out in the late 50s, early 60s. I think I got that right. And this is the DVD set, which I believe I picked up at Walmart one time for a reasonable price. Could have been, well, I don't know. It's been a while. And I enjoyed watching those discs on DVD. And I thought, wow, this is great to be able to watch the Flintstones. And then when this one became available several years ago, the Blu-ray, get the light for you, of the Flintstones complete series. It also, as well, includes two movies, which I'll just discuss about that a little later. I was blown away when I first opened this up, and when I put it in the disc, when I checked all the Blu-ray discs and everything, it was fantastic. But there was an issue. Okay. This issue has to do with primarily, I believe it is episode 17 of season 1. But first, a very brief look at, I guess I should take this plastic off now. It's starting to come off over the years. The DVD box set of the Flintstones looks like this, and it comes with this sort of easy to read little booklet that tells you what episode is on what disc. And there's all 6 seasons included in both sets. So this is a handy little book if you kind of forgot where you left off, you want to check it out. I know that is one of the advantages of streaming, for example, is that usually it just picks up where you left off. DVDs, you got to keep a mental note, write it down, or if you guys have any tricks to how to best remember, then just write them down in the comments, what the last episode you watched and you set aside for a while. This is what the DVD set looks like on the inside. That's season 1. And nice, beautiful artwork there. Maybe you could get this for cheap version somewhere of it. I recommend it. It's a good series. It's funny. Some of the humor is dated, and the Blu-ray does the right thing by stating at the very outset that some of the material included, especially more earlier Flintstones episodes, are, well, they're borderline. If you showed them today, you would consider them probably sexist or sensitive in that way. Perhaps I shouldn't use that word on YouTube. Okay, so in the DVD box set, it's like this. They're all nested nice in these trays like this, and I found that the discs were good. They worked, even though this was an older release. It was fantastic. I never had any problems physically, I think, until now, with any of the trays, and everything worked fine. So, not that I'm a big fan of that method of keeping stuff like that, but you put it back together. It slides in the box. And yes, I will take this plastic off. It's seen worse days. Seen better days, I mean. There's the description on the back. And it's pretty simple and straightforward. Now, a couple of weeks ago, maybe it's been a month now, I saw this on Groove Entertainment. And it was equivalent to about the same price on Amazon. In fact, they may be the ones that are third party selling it on Amazon. I don't remember. But I thought I would purchase from them directly instead of Amazon just to help out a competitor. And it was a fairly good price. I believe it was $52. I know that's a bit, but I'm a huge fan of the Flintstones, and you get all 6 seasons, and you get two. You get a bonus, 2 of the bonus movies that were done, I think, are in the early 70s. The Flintstones and WWE Stone Age SmackDown, and The Man Called Flintstones, plus the original pilot episode and featurettes. So this is what it looks like here. You want to freeze that, take a look at it. And there's no booklet included, but there is something that happened, and I'm going to show you. The Blu-ray discs themselves were fine and really good looking, but when I looked at the second collection, or no, the first one here, seasons 1 to 3, I'm going to insert a photo here so you can see it closer. What I discovered was all these pieces of blue plastic, and you've probably had this happen to you, and you can kind of see how it's cracked there. I'm going to insert a picture here somewhere. It still works. Everything seats in the trays all right. You open it up like this. There is, well, I guess you wouldn't call this a booklet necessarily, but it's an insert that shows you the episodes. Okay, down through here, and the trays are similar. I don't quite trust them as much as the DVD section. The Blu-ray ones seem to fall out easier. Not that they have fell out, but with other collections, I've noticed that about it. And the discs are pretty cool. Nice artwork. Just being careful here. So there was that, and there was all these little, it was all nice. You really couldn't tell. You know, if you saw this on the shelf, you really would not tell, unless maybe perhaps you were able to shake it or something a little bit, and you might sense there was something loose in there. So this is this is seasons 4 to 6. And you can see on the back there, I didn't really show the back of the other one. And it's cool too, the same thing inside. However, I do have to be careful because in this one of the little pins of the centerpiece of one of these little trays was broken. I don't know if you can see it there. I'll try to get it up closer. I don't want it to fall out. See that sort of cavity there? That was missing. And that was loose as well into the whole container. And however, the discs, as you can see, are fine. The cases themselves are fine. Really solid, and they're translucent. Oops, sorry, translucent. You can almost see through them there and see the cover art on each one. So here's what happened. I did a little research on the Flintstones, and I was really impressed by the quality of the Blu-ray and the rich, rich colors. Not a huge amount of difference in the sound, but as I did my research, I found a couple of things out that may interest you if you're also thinking about collecting these Blu-rays, especially. What I found out is when they originally released it, was it 2020 or was it earlier than that? Should have checked on that. But when it was originally released, episode 17, called The Bank Robbers, I believe that's what it's called, and episode 17 of the Blu-ray, and I'm looking at the I'm looking at the DVD collection right here to see which one it is. Oh yeah, The Big Bank Robbery, episode 17 on both, of course, but 2 different discs because the Blu-ray holds more data. So what you have is The Big Bank Robbery. Not a bad cartoon, pretty funny, you know. But here's what happened. And I'm going to put in an insert here of a few screenshots off just this little basic 1080p back here. Just to give you an idea, when I took with my tablet here, when I took photos as samples of a couple of screenshots, of course the tablet makes everything look great. You know, I'm using a Samsung tablet, and the photos came out much better than the human eye perceived. So what I had to do was I kind of tried to match up the fadedness of the DVD as compared to the Blu-ray. So please don't take these images that I'm going to show you as exact replications of what you're going to see on the screen. But when I watched the Blu-ray, I was blown away by what I was missing on the DVD set. The DVD cartoons, you'll just be thinking of them. Maybe you haven't seen them since you were a kid or something. and you just start to watch them and you think, wow, these are fun, these are great, and look at the color. But trust me, when you put the Blu-ray in and you see the Blu-ray difference, it's amazing. Okay, so here's the issue, and here's what happened, and here's the decision I made. And tell me in the comments below if you think I made the right one or what you would have done, because I still don't know if I made the right decision. Okay, what I found out was episode 17, when it was originally released, and you can find this on Reddit, you can find it in all different places on the internet, YouTube videos on it. I think even Serial at Midnight may have covered it. I'm not sure. But anyways, episode 17 did not have, what was it missing? Originally, when the disc came out, it had no laugh track, no music, and only dialogue or something like that, I think. That's how it went. So fans were disappointed in that, and Warner Brothers had to go back to the table and they say, hey, you really goofed up here by doing this with this release. So what they did was they issued out another disc to replace that disc that had episode 17 on it. And that seemed to be fine. But when I kept looking, I kept thinking, well, if I need that disc, can I still get it? Now, this is what I don't know. But what I saw was that a lot of people said the email is no longer valid. You would try to email them, because I think they tried to correct it in maybe that came out in 2018 and then 2020 or something. They said, and I mean, I can understand a company like Warner just can't keep that open indefinitely. And so what they did was, as they issued new prints or presses, you want to say, of the Flintstones Blu-ray, they just put in a corrected disc. That's fine. So I get this package, I find that it's all broken, and I think, oh man, I spent $52 on this plus tax and whatever. You know, shouldn't have to put up with this. And it wasn't the shippers, it wasn't Groove Entertainment's fault, because you really couldn't tell. It was all nice and plastic, and if you went in the store, pulled it off the shelf somewhere, you would have had the same problem when you got home. Oops, sorry about that. Fix this up a bit. So I thought the first thing I'm going to do is go to episode 17 and give it a watch, see how it is. And I listened very carefully. I played both the DVD version that I previously owned and the new Blu-ray version. And what I found was that there was amazing color and picture and very sharp. And sometimes you can see a bit of texture, but it's just where the cellophane, where they use when they used to do the animating cells, you can kind of see like almost like, like they're just a little bit on their faces, a little bit of texture, but it's no issue. Overall, excellent. So I'm watching this and I'm really listening. I even got some of my family. I got my son to come in and listen to, and in this set, it must be the corrected disc, because it had dialogue, it had music, but it did not have a laugh track. So then I went back and did some more research, because I said, I'm going to sleep on this. The first time I saw it, I was just going to send the sucker back. Groove Entertainment says they'll take everything back. They'll do a good job for you. They'll replace it. But here's what I got thinking. Maybe I'm wrong, but what would happen if, for example, first, back just a second. The fact that there is no laugh track on episode 17 was apparently, I guess, the way it was initially released. That's my understanding. So when they corrected it, they made it like its original release, or like the release of when it went to television, or something like that. So I thought, okay, that's cool. I don't need the laugh track, and perhaps it did change, whatever. So, but I could send them back this broken Blu-ray case, and they would automatically, like any place, just grab another one off the shelf, and if it looks fine without opening it, they'd send it to me. And I thought, well, gee, what happens if I just by chance get this back? And what I find is that it's a great case, and the cases look great, and maybe there's an issue with another disc or something. But what if it's one of the older pressings, and I just happen to get one where I have to ship that back and get basically back what I had originally bought of the Blu-ray? Do you see what I'm thinking? So I thought on it for a couple of days. I asked my son. He said, well, it's only a broken case. And I'm like, yeah, well, it's a principal thing, and I collect them, and I want to keep them. And A broken case probably doesn't last as long as one that isn't. But I did come to the conclusion, here's my conclusion, is I decided I would keep it because I tested several of the discs. Everything seems to play fine. And I'm thinking, you know what? It's really the shows I care about. It's fantastic color. The sound is okay. But wow, the difference is amazing. As you can see from the samples I inserted, wow, that was the opening of episode 17, the big bank robbers or whatever it's called, the biggest bank robbers. And so that's what I decided to do. I just decided to keep it and live with it. Perhaps if it was damaged even more. I mean, look, these Blu-ray trays, they're just, you know, they're not really desirable anyway. There's something lacking there, and I know they're trying to cut back on weight, and they're trying to cut back on materials and save money. And we're living in an age where people aren't really that interested in physical, like the masses aren't interested in physical media collecting. So I decided to live with it. Would you guys have done the same? Okay, one added thing I want to say to this video before we're done, and it's great to have you here. But I just want to mention that the two movies, I really hope they do this in the future, and I hope I finish my thoughts. Sometimes I don't finish my thoughts. I do in my head, but I don't. Anyways, this, as I said, includes the Flintstones and WWE Stone Age SmackDown, and The Man Called Flintstone. Now, I really wish it would have been a Blu-ray version of one of my all-time favorite Flintstones, which I've mentioned before, is the Flintstones meet Rockula and Frankenstein, or even the Jetsons meets the Flintstones. But I haven't found the Flintstones meet Rockula and Frankenstein on Blu-ray, but it'd be great if they would do something and put them all together. Now, they do have a collection like that, a DVD. I ended up with 2 copies, as I confessed one time, because I saw one for a good price, and I thought, oh man, I really love that Halloween episode, the art in it. And all I know is that the this version here has the DVD version of Stone Age SmackDown, and I think it's, what did I say, Man Called Flintstone, I think? Yeah, Man Called Flintstone, which is kind of like a James Bondish kind of Flintstone. I did watch it in DVD. So that's the thing. I do hope they do put these on Blu-ray. I mean, the other ones that were missing here. I do hope they do that. I don't have big hopes for it. I think that's all I wanted to say for you guys today, and I just want to say thanks for watching, and I hope you're a big Flintstones fan too. I try to tend to look over some of those things because I grew up with the Flintstones. I mean, some of those issue things that are in there. You're going to get that in any kind of historical content. And I would like to take what I like to say to the younger generation is, sure, I think we all need to change. We need to change with the times. We need to understand we have better sensibilities and better understanding of culture and society and growing and evolving in that way. I really agree with that. But at the same time, I don't think we need to throw out the baby with the bathwater. For example, I mean, we look at some of the people that we know are actors or stars that may have been involved in current things going on that, you know, it's like, do you just throw out your whole movie if it's your favorite movie because an actor did something they shouldn't have done? Or yeah, like, well, a good example is like in Capricorn 1. I find it hard to watch Capricorn 1 now, that old science fiction movie where they faked going the Apollo landings, because O.J. Simpson's in it. And it's like, we all kind of know the story there, and you're kind of like, it's just, I don't know, something kind of sticks with you. Maybe it doesn't for you, but it kind of is there, and it kind of like, I don't know, kind of, yeah, just takes something away from the movie. Anyway, I do hope that was helpful. Let me know if you think, as I said, did I make the right choice? Would you guys just send it back? Because probably the old ones have all been sold and the new ones would have. But I just thought, what if the next batch I get is a dirty case inside, you know, with the off-gassing oils. I did a video on that here. You know, put a link to it, how to clean them and stuff. And, you know, like there's all kinds of things you could get, right? So I just thought I'd settle on what I had. Okay, guys, that's it for now. Oh, did I finish my thought about the Flintstones? I was just going to say the younger generation. Yeah, see, I do that. I'm going to ramble on. I tell them, you know what? What's going to happen is that 20, 50, 100 years, if we're still around, they're going to look back and see some of the things that we made today, and we thought we were being right ethically or whatever, you know, modern in our thinking, and they're going to look back and they're going to say, their kids are going to tell them, or their grandkids are going to tell them, hey, you shouldn't have said that about, that's not funny. You're making fun of. So I do get that. But I think that the Flintstones, there's enough redeemable humor in there that if you grew up with it, especially, you can get a kick out of it. And also, my dad and I would enjoy watching them, and my dad's, he's been passed on now for a few years. So there's that family element. You have the memories of watching these things, and it's good fun, and it brings back good memories. That's it for now. I'm not going to get any more. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the movies.